So welcome everybody, this is my review of Empire of Light. I had the great privilege of seeing this at the very beginning of 2023 in an advanced screening at the Cineworld Cinema in Dover, here in Kent, where I live. And Empire of Light is in some ways a companion piece, not just to Cinema Paradiso, but to another movie from early 2022, set in a small British movie house, Save the Cinema, where Samantha Morton played the proprietor of the Lyric Theatre in Carmarthen, near where I used to live, and set about resorting to drastic measures to keep the historic venue from being closed, even bringing in Steven Spielberg as a champion. Now, whereas Save the Cinema works as an updated Ealing comedy, Sam Mendes' Empire of Light is a more pensive and richly textured drama. It's set in the early 1980s, when the fictitious cinema on the English south coast and filmed in Margate hosted the regional premiere of Chariots of Fire, when all manner of luminaries from the era, Laurence Olivier, Steve Ovett, Dusty Springfield, were expected to attend. Now, Mendes' last film, 1917, had an autobiographical feel, as one of his ancestors died in the First World War. And Empire of Light is also very much grounded in a very specific milieu of early 1980s Thatcherite England, where the National Front were on the march, the police turned a blind eye to racist aggression on the streets, Two-Tone, Scar and Susie and the Banshees was on the rise, and mental health and mixed-race relationships were still very much a taboo. Now, Olivia Colman is the duty manager at the Empire Cinema on the seafront, and we are increasingly privy to her mental health issues, which a lack of resources and understanding at the time meant that her well-being could not be adequately treated. She's just prescribed doses of lithium without trying to dig beneath the surface of what may be the matter. And her boss, played by Colin Firth in an uncharacteristically villainous mode, is quite able to exploit. Now, the film trades in nostalgia, but is also aware of its limitations, as when the thrilling sight one morning outside the cinema of a parade of motorbikes and scooters suddenly turns nasty. The glass windows of the cinema are smashed, and the black ticket seller inside is beaten to within an inch of his life. Coleman's character works in a cinema, but never crosses the threshold of entering the auditorium when a film is playing, and so she's largely a bystander, impervious to the joys of the likes of Stir Crazy, 9 to 5 and Raging Bull, which are being shown at the remarkable prices by 2023 standards of £1.50 for adults and £1 for children at this two-screen Art Deco cinema. Now, we have the juxtaposition of cinema as a haven from the challenges of life all around, while also being a site of destabilising and toxic relationship dynamics between some of the staff. And there are overt lines in the dialogue about the way the projectionist, who treats his film canisters as if he was a priest at the Eucharist, is able to shut out the darkness from the light with the right optic framing. Now, Empire of Light is as much a paean to the need for personal and social connections. Unsurprisingly, Mendes wrote it following his experience of lockdown, and for looking out for friends and colleagues who need the right mental health support, or who are being racially abused, as much as it is about the power of movies. And the political and social context is endemic to the arcs of the characters and their various needs to be buttressed and defended when their physical and mental lives are at risk. Reflections play a key role in this movie, reminiscent of the beauty through the banal motif that was integral to Mendes' debut, American Beauty, encapsulated there by the plastic bag blowing in the wind, of which this film is largely a companion piece. Both pictures supply us with glittering surfaces, but suggest that the more we look at them, the more complexity and fractures we will discover, and that life can only be lived fully when it attends to the decay that lies beneath the veneer. Here it is the decaying third and fourth screens on the top floor, now all boarded up and home to a wounded pigeon, that is presented as no less magical and beautiful in all its tawdry and derelict state of disrepair than the elegant auditoria downstairs. Empire of Light is an ode to the way those on the periphery can all come together to find solace and quell their tribulations and pain, if only for a few short hours, until the next night, while also being unafraid to acknowledge that the lives of the cinema employees are no less dramatic, tragic, and sometimes comic as the films being projected in the movie palace itself.